All right, folks. Hey, welcome. You guys are hanging with the guys. With me, like always, is going to be Luis, Xavier, and Chris. Chris, how are you doing today, my guy? What's
I'm
happening? What's
great.
hot?
I am great, man. It's a good Friday, tough week, ready to do this.
Are you drinking today? What are you sipping on?
Always. Tito's and cran grape today. That's the drink for
So
tonight.
cran grape
Very
action.
solid. I like it. Zave,
Nice.
welcome to the show. What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on? Salud. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What are you sipping on today, my guy?
Water. Whiskey.
Oh, that's so fucking boring. Oh, geez. Anyway, yeah, very good. Hey, Luis, I see you over there,
Sir.
my dude. What's up? How you doing, my guy?
What's
How's
going
your
on?
day going?
I'm doing great, man. It's actually been a pretty nice Friday, so nothing to complain about over here.
Well, salute. Hey, so today we're going to be talking. Well, since it's Father's Day weekend, we're going to do a special episode today. Out of the four of us, 3 out of the 4 are dads. The one who is not is going to be the guest host. He's going to be initiating all the questions. He's going to maybe decide whether to have kids or not, and he's going to ask us some questions, and we're going to give a regular guy's advice to being a dad and what it's like and what he has to look forward to. By the way, I'm sipping a mimosa because I'm classy as fuck. So, Zave, with that being said, have at it.
What up, guys? You know what? I just wanted to ask really quickly. Do you guys still get Father's Day gifts for your fathers? Like, did you guys get anything
I
for
do.
them this Sunday? Johnny, what did you get?
My dad really likes dad shirts. Stuff like, hey, bass fishing, with the ladies' butts hanging out, some fancy fishing line, some quip, some dad thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And he's really into dad signs. When I say that, I mean, hey, in the back patio, things I says, hey, gone fishing, or hey,
Yes.
fresh beer served here. You know what I mean? Very classy,
Right.
very cliche signs. But he's not like into them. Like, hey, these are the coolest things. He knows they're cliche, and so he likes to hang them up, and they're within good taste. So
That's awesome.
every
man.
now and then, I'll get him a neon sign, like beer signs or something cool like that, because he's into that as well for the garage. But t-shirt, sign, bringing over my kids.
That's a good play. I actually got a sign for my dad to put in his garage. It's like one of those bar you write in there. I engraved it with Pop's Garage, and so I'm hoping he's
That's
going to
dope.
throw it in there, or he's
Throw
just
it in
going
the
to throw it
trash.
away. Yeah, exactly. Luis, thank you,
Yes, sir.
dude. Absolutely. Chris, what did you get your dad? Did you get anything cool?
My pops loves. I get him these autographed baseballs. They're like, you don't know who the hell it is. It could be old-time Hall of Famers, All-Stars playing right now. I don't know. He gets a kick out of it, trying to see what he's gonna get. So
Oh, that's pretty cool. So like kind of like a mystery box type thing.
yeah, it's like a mystery box. It's like Platinum TriStar. Y'all want to sponsor us?
I'm about to do
Yeah,
that for
it's
myself.
pretty cool. There's actually some dope ass players in there that you can get, and he loves it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Luis, I don't really give a shit about what you got your dad. So I'm just going to ask
okay.
you the next question. All right. So like Johnny,
Definitely going in the trash.
like Johnny referenced earlier, I think this is going to be a really cool podcast just because I wanted to ask you guys these questions because, as you guys know, I don't have a kid. And based on some of the answers
That we
you guys
know of.
give me, true.
That
Based
you
on
know
some
of.
full disclaimer, I do not have any children. Okay. But based on some of these questions, I think it would help me and maybe some of the people that are listening. So I
fair
thought of
enough.
a couple of questions. So Luis, we'll start with you since I totally, just foregoed you earlier.
That's all right.
So I think one of the main questions is, did you guys ever, like, when you got your first, did you know right away that you were like a dad, meaning like, okay, I'm the provider, now I'm the protector, I'm, going to get everything for my kid. I'm like the guy now, I'm the father.
So for me, it wasn't until I actually held Brianna Leah in my hands that it really clicked. Like, I'm now responsible for this life. Even though like me and Cynthia planned on having her, like going through the pregnancy and everything that happened during the pregnancy, it never really hit me until I actually had her in my hands that, oh shit, I am now responsible for another human life. I can't fuck up anymore.
No more fuck ups.
And it's been like that ever since, because any decision that I make affects her, not just me. So I can't fuck up anymore.
Right.
Luis, you felt that though? I mean, right after she was born, and you held her, right? You just
Yes.
holding her for the first time, newborn baby girl. It was like that.
So again, I don't know. I don't remember if I told you guys the story, but Brianna Leah, my first daughter, she was actually a threat of the miscarriage about 4 months into the pregnancy. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it kind of shocked us a little bit, and it took us by surprise. And Cynthia was actually on bed rest for 2 months of that pregnancy, the last 2 months essentially, after she had a bleeding episode while she was working. And so aside from all the preparations that somebody takes in getting prepared to be a father, we in the back of our mind didn't know if she was going to be a full-term baby, if she was going to be born, if we were going to have to go into emergency C-section. So there was a lot of different obstacles that we were going through the duration of this pregnancy.
Right. You already had in your mind that you could lose her already, right?
Absolutely. Yes. So it's I don't know how you guys feel. I'll be honest. When I first found out Cynthia was pregnant, automatically first thought in my head, I want a boy. Right. I think it's
right.
It's pretty straight around the board. A guy having a baby, they want a boy. As soon as Cynthia had this bleeding episode, that went out the window. I wanted a healthy child. I didn't give a fuck, boy or girl.
You didn't care gender.
That was out the window, and I just wanted a healthy child.
Johnny, did you feel the same way when you first held Scarlett? Like you're like, okay, dad mode, or are you
when
still?
When I first held Scarlett?
Yeah.
Absolutely
or was it before?
not. So, I was scared to death. I mean, I know we'll talk a little bit about more later, but when I first held Scarlett, I was like, oh, hey, I was like, this is new, and they're like here, and I was like, hey, but I was like, oh, she's cute, and she was just like this little pud, a little potato.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, and she didn't smile or anything. She's still like brand new. So if you don't know, when you hold a newborn baby, for the most part, if it's a vaginal birth, Xavier, prepare for this. The head's a little disfigured because it comes out of the vagina, right? So the Scarlett's head was a little off. I was like, oh my God. And they kind of tell you, but they don't prepare you for it as much. There's no like instruction manual, like, hey,
Sure.
to what's going on.
Sure.
But for me, it kind of evolved a little bit more by more like we took her home. Jessica was in mom mode because she had a child before we got together. But yeah, dude, it just kind of bit by bit by bit by bit. Because I really couldn't do anything with Scarlett when she was first born. I mean, she's an infant. She slept for most of the day. She breastfed, she cried. I changed her weird diapers, and the first couple shits from a baby, I forget what it's called, but it's like this tarry, gross black poop, and it's very sticky. Chris, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Anyone? So it's
I didn't
nasty,
get it
and
on
I
me,
was like,
but yeah.
I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't know if
It's
this is
paste.
weird. I was like, this is my life now. It is what it is.
Wow.
However, I want you to know, maybe about a month or so into it, I used to come home for lunch. I used to work very close to work, so I would come home because I was like, I want to see my girls, Jessica and Scarlett. So I would come home and I'd see Scarlett, and she'd just be like this little potato. But let's see if you guys can see this. Can you see that photo?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first times she smiled for me, and it hit me. I was like, like my heart melted. I was so excited. Like I said, I just came from work. I was holding her. I was like, this is fucking tight. Like I can't wait to. I would come home and see her every day for lunch. See Jessica too. Not that I was ignoring her. But like I have this little thing, this new addition. Like I was like, this is why I love this thing. Like, it's
awesome.
crazy. It's what they don't tell you is I don't know. I guess you can. It's hard to explain. It's different loving someone more than you love yourself, if that makes sense. Not that I hate myself, but it's weird. It's like I love this thing that I've created. This little
well, yeah, they've become
right?
your priority, regardless.
Yeah,
that
so that's when it hit
your
me. Like I
main
said,
responsibility.
Yeah, to cycle back around, Xavier, I know I was kind of rambling on, but God, man, it just slowly happened, and it just became what it was. I'm not a selfish person by any rights, but like I said, it was just now this is what I'm going to work for so I can make some things happen. You know what I mean?
Right. So Chris, you know what, from the other two, right? It sounds like it's an incremental buildup, and then they have like a moment. They have like a moment where it's like Louise was like, okay, cool, I'm holding Brianna Leah, and then with Johnny, Scarlett smiles at him. So did you have that, or were you just like, I'm prepped, I'm ready to go, I'm dad?
No, it took me a long time. I mean, I had this baby, and yeah, I was happy, and it's, hey, I'm a father, and like, okay, I love this baby, but as a man, you can't do a whole lot. You can't breastfeed this. You can't, there was only so much. Okay, I
Right.
can change your diapers, right? But like, I didn't always have. Yeah, I hold her, and and we'd laugh, and like, yeah, I love my daughter, but it took me a very long time to be like, I would do anything for this girl. Like, I would die for this girl, right? Like, I did not have this instantaneous, like, I
Yeah.
would do anything. This is my, like, I didn't have that magical feeling of love of her over myself. Oh, and it was probably because
True.
of the shit that I was going through with her mom, that definitely played a part in it. But also as a man, I just felt like there wasn't, like, I didn't have that connection because this baby didn't need me at this point. I
When
wasn't
did
needed at that point, and that probably went into it. Like, it honestly took like almost a year. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my daughter, right? And I loved her as a baby, and doing everything, but to finally feel that I will do anything for this girl right here. Like, this is my daughter, this is my flesh and blood. Like, it took me a long time to really feel that way.
when did it occur to you that this is the time?
I think it took a lot more where we could bond and kind of her react more to me,
Yeah.
where she wasn't so dependent on her mom, that I was able to take her off, because me and her moms were split up, that I was able to, take her and be able to just take care of her on my own and have her laugh and giggle and kind of play. And it was probably when she was, when she started walking, was a little older, had a more, more of a personality, that I really, I mean, that's when it like really started sinking in. Like, maybe it was, oh shit, I really got to take care of this girl now or what. But it was like, once I started seeing that personality in there, that it wasn't just, hey, this is a baby that I got to take care of. It was, this is my daughter. This is my flesh and blood right there. Like, that
Yep.
personality,
Yeah.
she gets from me, and everything I do, she's going to learn from me.
So it's like you had to build this bond first between you and her, and then that's how it triggered you. Like, okay, I'm gonna do anything for this baby, for mine.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of bonds that you build. It's not just everyone wants it to be like, hey, these funny ass moments, but I
Right.
mean, I, it's or I'm sorry, heartwarming moments. There's hella funny times, like she'll pee on you, she'll poop.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then she just looks
Yeah.
at you like, oh man, or she farts when she's in the bathtub, and I was like, oh, it's gross.
That's awesome.
Oh,
But there's nothing quite like poop in the bathtub, so prepare
Great.
for that. That's
dude.
All right, so
6 months checkup. We go in.
Uh,
She got to pee. I'm like, okay, we take the diaper off. I'm holding her. Shit everywhere, all over the doctor's office. Oh, it was awesome. It was
Mhm.
good times.
all right, well, that's the end of this
for you.
podcast. I have decided I am
Thanks,
not
wrap it up,
having a
yeah.
child. Let's wrap it up. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Speaking of horror stories like the 6-month checkup, right? I've always wondered what the delivery room experience is like. Especially, I've always heard these stories about guys going in there, they're watching everything going down, and they're like, oh, cool, everything. And then they're knocked out and they pass out on the floor. So is it like a scene out of Saving Private Ryan, or is it nothing like that? It's actually, pretty tame. Were you guys cool in there? Like, like Johnny, were you all right in there, or what was it like?
Yeah, so I was all right. Both my children, I have two, by the way. Um, it was kind of the first time Jessica went into labor. It was midday. Like she told me in the morning, hey, like it's probably gonna be today. I was like, all right. So I went into work. I said, hey, you know what? I'm doing I gotta go. They were like, okay. So I left. We leave to the doctors because she's going into labor. She's having contractions about maybe I don't know. I want to say noon, 1 p.m. And you get there, they check you in. It's a whole process. Your adrenaline's going pump, 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 pump. And like in the movies, they put you in the wheelchair, you're rushing through like, oh my God, like, oh, baby's coming out. It's not like that unless you literally waited super long and now the baby's hanging out of your girl's butt. It's not like that. You go in, they sit you down, you're in the room, they check you in, you have to fill out paperwork, um, and then they check her and they say, oh, you're not dilated, and then you have to wait 6 or 7 hours, and then your adrenaline wears off, and then you want to go to sleep because hey, it's maybe later on in the evening, your
Right.
adrenaline's been going. You can't because they come in like every 15, 20 minutes and they're like, hey, is everything okay? Hey, is everything okay? Everything's beeping. Um, you obviously want to take care of her, make sure you know your girl's fine. But there's nothing you can do. You're just like on standby. It's like I don't know, waiting to board a plane. That's what it was like. And then boop, baby, like we go into labor, and it's. I'm like, this is it. Like, oh, that's why it's not like you don't shake someone's hand like, hey, good job, like you graduated. Take a picture. It's just kind of like this is it. They come in, hey, let's go. They set everything up here. You want to cut the cord? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. They're here, baby. I'm like, oh, I'm fucking tired, man. And I give her to Jessica, and I'm like, hey, are you good? She's like, I'm good. I'm like, and that's it. It's just kind of a long, long process.
Just
Not
a
very.
long a waiting
Yeah,
period.
it's just a long wait.
It is.
Luis, when
It
you were
is.
in there,
It
were
is a
you
long wait.
when you were in there, were you staring down the barrel? Like, are you looking and watching the horror go down,
Good
or
question.
Yes.
are you just kind of?
Yes. Again, remember, when I was going into this, like I just want a healthy child, so I'm
Right.
observing everything. Like I'm
This, hey.
I'm seeing no, not like that, but I'm seeing the crowning.
Orale, babe,
Just,
keep going.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting. And you guys know Cynthia. Like she's a tough ass. She's a tough ass woman, and like she was.
Hey, Luis, hey, the baby's coming.
She was in pain. Like I was like, this shit's gonna be intense, and it was. And we were there for a while, and go
Hey,
ahead.
question. I'm sorry. Did she have a natural birth?
Yeah, she did.
Oh wow,
did.
that's a
did.
difference though. So I respect. That is.
Oh no,
intense.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, she did not. She wanted to.
Oh,
And then she took
Yeah.
epidural.
And then she got
That's
the
what I was gonna
epidural.
ask both y'all.
That's cool.
Yeah, she wanted to, and she fought it up until they said, "Hey, you don't get it now. You don't get it at all," and she gave in.
I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing because I was there too. I get it.
Hey,
But hey,
so
hold on, just real quick, fun story though. I will always be grateful for Brianna Leah. And I joke with her about this. She was born on a Sunday at the halftime of a Niner game.
Oh wow, she's daddy's favorite. Sorry, Michaela. Sorry.
I drafted the night Michaela was born, but but
was it a championship team?
No. Yeah, I think I won that year. But I will always remember that because we went to the hospital early that morning, Sunday morning, and they sent us back home. They said she wasn't ready, and then we ended up going back right before the game started. So she's kind of in the room. I'm watching the game. We're kind of waiting.
what was the home game then? We were the later game.
Yeah, it was the Niners in Green Bay, and we lost. We got our ass kicked, but
yeah, that was.
But I just remember
times.
that because halftime they call me in, everything goes down, the baby's born.
Luis, I mean, she wanted to have a natural birth, right? No medication. So that's dude. So that was my girl's. That was her plan the whole time, right? And so we went to all kinds of freaking classes, dude. And they're, in these classes, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to massage the shit out of her like the whole freaking time. Like, do this, like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be there to help you, but I'm like, fuck, I gotta strengthen my hands. Like, I got these freaking like hands things at work to strengthen that because I'm like, I'm gonna be massaging for like hours on end. Like, holy shit, like, okay, I got to get ready for this too. So I got my hands freaking like hella strong. We was ready to do it. She was dead fast. Like, I don't care. I am not taking any drugs, period. Right? Like, this is what I'm gonna do. So, like, okay, like, I was a little scared for the process. But
how did you do in there, Chris? How did you do in the delivery room?
So she wakes up at 3:00 in the morning. And she's like, damn, I think I just pissed. And I'm like, nah, your water broke. And
oh no shit, her water broke.
Yeah, dude, her water broke,
and that's like final stages, dude.
Mhm.
when her water broke, but then it wasn't clear either. Like this was straight on the bedroom floor. So we go to the hospital. We get there right as hell early in the morning, and they go and they do a CT scan or whatever it is of her, right?
Yeah.
And they see that my baby's breached. So that means that she was flipped upside down. So she wasn't head first; she was feet first. And so they're like,
Looking like Pele.
Is that bad?
"Oh shit, we need to
Yeah.
do a C-section. Your baby's breached."
That is bad.
And it's like, well, hey, how come y'all didn't see this before? Like, why is this happening? We've been preparing to do this natural birth, and now we're gonna have a C-section. Well, look, C-section was hella easy for me, guys. I left the
Rich,
room.
what do they do with a C-section?
They cut open your belly and they flat out remove the baby. So
Is that all they do in a C-section?
I mean, they got to move some shit around to get the baby out.
What are they moving? What are they moving around?
Well, because the baby's underneath some stuff, so you got to move you got to move some type of organs to pull the baby out.
Johnny, you seem to be the expert on the subject. Can you enlighten me?
Yeah, so Jessica's scared to death of the C-section because we would talk about it. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to ruin my vag, blah blah blah." I'm like, "I don't want you to ruin your vag either." I was like, "Hey, lock it up." I was, why don't you just have a C-section? She's like, "You know what they do? They cut you right here above your womb, and they yank out like all your organs like right on top, and your intestines."
They don't yank them; they move them around. And
Saving
look,
Private Ryan.
that
again,
shit don't scare me. I was trying to get up in there. I was trying to get up in there and see it. Like the doctors had to pull me back. They'd be like, "No, dude, you need to go wait by your head." I was like, "Man, I'm trying to see what's going on."
I'm trying to peep what's going on up in there.
TVMA.
Nice.
I mean, dude, they moved the stuff to the side. Yeah, you got some intestines or something that are in the way from where they cut from the front.
Something.
But I mean, she don't have no issues from it. I mean, all you do is you stay in the hospital for a couple extra days. Like it wasn't like it was extra pain or that. I mean, you get a scar, but honestly, like literally, it took.
I was
30
told it's
minutes,
like,
bro.
hey, like taking something apart. Like let's just say we're taking an engine out or we're taking parts out of a computer, right? And then it's easy to take them out, or move them, and then you're like, hey, let's put this back together. So keep that in mind, right? You're moving organs around the body.
Yeah, Johnny, you're not disconnecting anything though. You're moving it.
True
Your intestines are not disconnecting from some other part. You're just moving them.
Yeah, but what if you don't put them back the same way they
totally
were
believe you. That's
out?
what I'm saying. I think that was one of the things that Jessica was kind of worried about. She's like, well, fuck, man, I don't want someone moving my fucking liver off to the side or my fucking intestines, to one side, and then how do they know exactly where it goes? They just shove it back. I was like, well, I'm trying to be the man of reason. I was like, well, they are fucking doctors. They're fucking doctors. Whoop-de-woo. She was like, fuck you. And I was like, oh shit, all right. Well,
man, we just replaced your kidney with a potato. Sorry, that's what you're feeling right now.
Miss, I'm sorry. Yeah, I lost a football in there. It's gone.
One just bonus ask that I gotta figure out what's going on is the placenta. Do you guys, what is that, and why is that even? Does it come out after the baby or before the baby?
The placenta?
Yeah.
Is this your end mystery question?
This is just
make
like,
or break?
I just need to know
wants
what
to
it is and why.
He heard it had good healing properties.
Yeah, I heard people eat it.
Yeah, I'll let Johnny answer first, and then
Johnny,
I'll give my take on that.
No, so the even if that is the case, the men don't eat the fucking placenta. Jesus Christ!
How do I know?
No,
how did I know?
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking.
People have done it.
People have done it, right, Luis? Thank you.
Hey, who are these fucking people? Are they the people watching our podcast? Please, the podcast isn't for you.
Hopefully not. But who knows? Thanks for watching, by the way. Be the placenta.
Heard of people putting in like capsules and swallowing like pills.
Just dry it up.
Chris, go on. Tell me more. What else do you do with the placenta?
I mean, that's what I've heard. I mean, I don't know where the hell ours was. I didn't have no second birth with a placenta. I think they took that out when they took my baby out.
All right, so check this out. This is what Wikipedia says, and I trust Wikipedia with my life. The placenta is a temporary organ that connects the developing fetus via the umbilical cord to the uterine wall to allow nutrient uptake, thermoregulation, waste elimination, and gas exchange via the mother's blood supply. The fight against internal infections, XYZ. But it's also found in marsupials, so that's good. So, I mean, the baby's connected to the placenta, and the placenta is connected to the uterine wall.
Kids who were marsupials and had a pouch.
It's good.
Write that down.
So Cynthia during my second birth, or not my second birth, but our second birth, she actually gave birth to a placenta.
Whoa.
Because she gave birth to Michaela, and then they thought she had a second baby. That's how big the placenta was.
Holy.
That she had to give birth to the placenta so we could get it out of her body.
Holy crap.
Well, that's usually what they do, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It didn't happen with
placenta
Brianna
can-
There was no placenta with Brianna Leah?
it's
No,
connected
she
to the
didn't. She
umbilical
didn't. No,
cord.
like it was a second birth.
Like a whole
Like
nother
she had
baby,
to she had to push it out. That's how big the placenta
So
was.
did
they
you think you were having another kid?
There was a slight, like the doctors, there was a slight oh shit from the doctors, like,
Right.
do we have is there another baby in there?
You're like,
And
yeah,
then
that's
they're
a
like,
ugly ass baby right
I was
there.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hey, Luis, sorry we didn't catch it, but looks like you're having another child. Didn't
Yeah,
show up on the
so-
first couple ultrasounds.
Yeah, there was an
You
oh
buy
shit
one, get one
moment.
free there.
Yeah, and I could have used it on my taxes, but she birthed it, and dude, it was like this fucking,
Jeez.
it's almost the same size as Michaela.
I'm sorry.
What-
One more time. Can you? I was drinking and I didn't see it. Can you show me again how big this placenta was?
No, you missed it.
He said it was
have to
about
rewatch
yay.
it, Johnny.
I'll review the video later.
He
Holy
said it was
shit.
about
It's
yay, like yay big.
bigger than a head. It looked like about this, right?
Yeah, it was the same size as a body, a baby's
Damn.
body.
Holy shit.
Yes, I'm telling you.
That's bananas. Bananas. Is that
That's awesome.
bananas? That's bananas.
Sorry, it was a weird question, but I had to ask because I've heard about it, and Johnny, I didn't know if you ate it or not, so I just wanted to make sure.
I don't recommend eating the placenta. I will try not to eat anything coming out of my fiance's body. Thank you.
So,
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
so
I heard that. I heard that's debatable, Johnny.
Out of the four of
Chris,
us, I think you're the most likely to eat the placenta.
Would you
I'm
say
a
me?
picky eater. Why the fuck
Oh,
would I
no.
eat
Johnny.
it?
Johnny.
If
Johnny,
it's not a pizza or a chicken,
And
or a
unless
chicken
you put
nugget,
it
I'm
in a
not eating
chicken
it.
nugget, he ain't need that.
well,
Hey,
well,
you know, you
If
can
you
make,
fucking
you
send
can,
it,
there,
Chris, you got it.
dude, hey, Johnny, look it up. There's recipes for placenta.
No, bitch. You look it up. I'm not looking
No.
up fucking placenta recipes. You see the hand blade?
I'm just,
Right,
hey, look, I'm
Luis,
just saying.
Right now,
you're the one with
You're
the big
getting the
ass
fucking
placenta,
double hand
okay?
blade.
You're
Yeah,
the one
double
who can
hand
make
blade.
some
Hey,
steaks.
you know
It's
what? Hey, I thought
happening.
about it. I thought about it because they asked you
I
if you
bet
want
you
it.
did. The size of that fucking thing,
Wait,
huh? You're
what?
like, hey,
They
babe, what
asked
is
you.
fucking placenta? I think it's fucking huge.
They asked you if
asked
you'd like
you.
to. Yeah, they asked you if you'd like to take it home.
what happens
I
if
was
you
like-
don't want to
Let's
take
have
it?
a barbecue.
Well, this is the start of it.
I'll just throw it out.
I hope so.
I took it home.
And what did you
I
do?
threw
with
it on my neighbor's roof. I said, fuck that.
Right on that roof. For all that dog
Start
shit,
smelling a couple
motherfucker.
weeks later.
That's awesome.
Did you get what you wanted,
disgusting.
Dave?
Yeah, I got it. Perfect. Definitely leaning towards not having a child. So, serious question though. This is more on the serious side. So, you know, you guys are all fathers. Cool. Awesome. If you guys could go, you know, keeping the theme from last week where we talked about going back in time, kind of giving yourselves like a heads up on something. What's something that you would tell yourself, you know, going back to try to make it easier for yourself to raise your first child, something where you could save time or money or stress? What is like the one key thing that you would tell yourself? Like Chris, like you already look like you're ready to go, so I'm just gonna go to you right away.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would tell myself is because I mean, right? Like I said, it took me a minute to get this. Like, I would do anything for my daughter, right? Like straight mentality and thought, right? And you know, I also it took me a minute before I started doing financial things to kind of get set up for her as well. I mean, honestly, I would go back like when she was first born and be like, hey, look, you're gonna feel a different way about it right now. Keep working hard, like. Set some stuff up for her. Think about her future financially. Don't just think right now and, you know, getting these diapers and getting this stuff right now. Think about 10 years down the road. Think about her college right now. Start thinking about those things because, you know, where I am now, like that's what I'm thinking about right now. Like I just set up a bunch of shit for her, you know, financially. So she set up down the road. Like I would tell myself, look, you are going to love this person more than you will ever know, that you cannot understand at this point. So do everything you can outside of, you know, with then being with her to get her set up for the future.
So it's going back in time and telling yourself to be more financially smart. Is that what you're trying to say? Just be,
Well,
be wise about it.
and like, look, you're gonna feel in a way that you can't even imagine right now about this human being, about your daughter, that you can't comprehend at this point.
Okay, so it's giving yourself a heads up. Like, look, all these emotions you're feeling right now, you're just not going to understand it, man. But you just got to embrace it. Basically, embrace that you're going to love your daughter. And be ready.
Embrace it, and I mean, be smart about her future too, right?
Oh wow, cool.
I mean, those two things.
So just some additional foresight, basically. Like, Luis,
Right.
did you feel the same way? Was it like it's like a financial advice that you would give yourself, or?
Oh yeah,
what would it be?
absolutely. I agree with Chris 100%. I think we all think about doing stuff, and me and Cynthia have done some stuff for both of our girls. But you know, when you look at where you are right now, you know, Brandon is about to be 11, Michaela's about to be 7. There's always more you could have done for them to be a little bit better off today than they are. So I agree with Chris. I think definitely, and that's just something that you've learned, right? As you've grown, you know, I've been a father for a little bit over a decade now. That's something that I've learned over the years. It's not something that I would have known 10 years ago.
Right.
But now, just on top of all the other growth that we've talked about, it's just something that I wish I had known then, so I could have positioned them better.
Yep.
Right. Because I think, honestly, the little day-to-day things, doesn't matter what anybody tells you. You learned that. You just go through it and you deal with it. How to change a diaper. I don't need somebody to give me an instructional video on how to change a diaper, like how to hold my kid like that. That stuff is just going to happen. And I mean, you just learn to get through that.
Johnny, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like, you know what, I'm going to go back in time, tell myself, hey, man, just be smart with your financials, or would you even change anything? You seem like the kind of guy that'd be like, nah, I'm just let it ride, baby.
Dude, I'm fucking glad you have me pegged. Honestly, no, I was struggling right now because I mean, I'm going through it again with my second child.
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't change much, dude. I mean, the only thing, if I could, to put myself at ease instead of saying any, or you know, the only thing I would tell myself, I can go back in time, is it's not that serious. You're gonna figure it out. I mean, these things, these babies, I'm not saying they're built like tanks. I mean, they're pretty fucking resilient, man. I mean, I was super nervous. But it goes by very quickly, man. I mean, I'm getting to experience it again now because I have Hazel. But yeah, dude, just fucking all the little I love fucking baby socks. They're itty bitty little baby socks, like putting them on her little fucking feet, dude. Her little onesies, I hold them up. Just have fucking fun. It's so much fun. I mean, watching, it's like the best way I can describe it, having a child, man, and experiencing stuff with them is maybe like sharing one of your favorite movies with someone who's never seen that movie before, right? Like the first time I gave Scarlett a lemon, I was fucking excited. First time I gave her a bite of pizza, she was like, "What?" Her first popsicle, I was like, "Yes!"
Right.
First time I took her in the pool, I mean,
All right.
No,
He's that excited.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
Kind of thinking what Johnny was saying. He looks good right now.
He looks great.
I think it's so easy to be scared about
moment
a lot of
frozen
things
in
for them.
time.
Like taking your daughter to the park for like the first time. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's climbing. Oh, what if she falls? I'm gonna be right there. Like, you're gonna feel these fears, but you can't let your child see that either. Because
Chris, how many times did you check to make sure that your kid was breathing in the middle of the night?
oh my, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. I'm like,
dude,
oh.
hey, because they're just laying there, and you can see, you can kind of see their stomach moving, but you got to make sure. So you got to give them the.
Is that a real fear? Like,
dude,
is it a real anxiety that you have? Like, when do you get over that? Johnny's still not over it.
When they get a little older, you know, when they get a little older and they start making a little bit more noise.
Right.
But there's a couple times in the night where they're just because that's the other thing too. You're not used to them being completely sound asleep.
Yeah.
You know, and so when those first couple of nights hit and they haven't moved in a couple hours.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hey, baby. You start shaking them, you know, just to make sure.
Just wake them up. Oh man. Hey, we gotta.
I feel you on that. Definitely, like sleeping in the other room is like, You're all happy because they asleep. Oh, I can go do something. You're like,
No.
oh shit, I hope they okay.
Yeah,
I hope she's
yeah.
all right.
Dude.
Oh, hey, worst thing is don't let nobody talk to you about SIDS. Be like, do not ever mention SIDS. I don't want to hear SIDS. I do not want to hear that word.
That sounds awful. Johnny, do you have any comments on that? All right, right on. You know what, guys? Hey, it's been, you know what? I'm just going to wrap this up. I mean, I thought it's been very informational, just very educational on some of the things you talked about, especially the placenta thing. I know that was kind of out of left field, but I just read up on it and I thought it was, you know, like weird, something weird I thought I'd ask. I mean, it's still bugging Johnny out to this day, to this moment right now. So
till this day.
But to this day. So I'm not going to have a kid. That's my final answer for right now. I'll check back in a year and then we'll go from there. But Chris, don't look so upset, man. I'm going to have a kid, just not right now. Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm like, damn, I feel like
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
If all we're doing is talking about placenta and, you know, having birth, then, you know,
Hey,
you didn't even ask us about the good questions.
You're
about
absolutely,
being a father,
you're
you know?
absolutely right. I didn't ask all the great things because I kind of want everybody. I mean, for me, I kind of just want to experience it without knowing it. You know what I mean? I think for me, like, I kind of want to know about all the bad shit, so I'm ready. But I don't want to know about all the good shit.
Yeah.
So that I can just let it happen. You know, like the first
Check
time I
this
ever took
out.
Molly.
Look, it doesn't matter what anybody tells you. Every experience is going to be unique in its own way. I could tell you what to expect, and chances are that your child is going to do something completely different from what my kids did, what Chris's kids did, what Johnny's kids have done. I fondly believe that I raised both of my children the same exact way, and they are two complete opposites.
Right. Completely different.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's the thing too. 1 million people are going to give you advice.
Yep.
Everybody thinks they know exactly how to raise your kid. I don't want to fucking hear that shit.
Yeah.
You know, your daughter she should be in a crib. She shouldn't be in a bed. Like, you know, dude, exactly. Let you do it when that time comes.
Yep.
Like, okay, y'all can have your opinions on this, but I'm gonna raise my kid how I want, and I'm gonna do what I want.
Yep. I feel it.
Yep.
Johnny, you agree, right?
Yes, he does. Hey, don't move if you agree. Yep.
Cool. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Another episode of The Guys. Tune in next week or the week after. Don't matter. You'll tune in. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.